What's up, everybody, and welcome to the night after WrestleMania review, Monday Night Raw. We know how things get crazy every year for Monday Night Raw. We know how this crowd can be. We know how things go. Be in store for surprises, be in store for returns, be in store for NXT call-ups, and a lot going on throughout the night. But there's one thing I do want to address tonight. We know WrestleMania was a 6.5 hour show to get through. We know it was long. We know there was a lot of bad going into it in the end. I was physically exhausted. Even I thought I probably messed up at the end of my Mania review. There was just a lot going on that night. But, in the past 24 hours, there's been a lot of news. There's been a lot of changes. One thing I guess I can address right now is this whole Brock Lesnar situation. Number one, it looks like it's going to be Brock versus Roman again at the whole Greatest Royal Rumble thing in Saudi Arabia, the whole 50 Royal Rumble thing, and that Lesnar has signed a new contract. But I also read about this whole Brock and Vince McMahon getting into an argument backstage literally right after the main event of WrestleMania, that they argued with each other, and Brock threw the title at Vince, I believe, or threw it at the wall. And as they kept shouting at each other, Vince tried to clear the room to get them to talk to, I guess to themselves, to talk to each other. But it doesn't look like that was going to happen. And they said Brock stormed out. So I don't know if it was a way of holding up more money on Vince McMahon. I don't know. He probably was pissed at the main event of how bad it was. Maybe he was really that pissed or something, because I'm like, would they have really signed him to a contract 24 hours later? Was he holding out on the company? Was he going into business for himself? Probably. I'm not really sure on this story all the way to what I've read, but some people are confirming it. Some people are not, but I just kind of wanted to address that right now since they re-signed the guy. We kicked it off with Stephanie McMahon, who got a chorus of boos, of course. People chanting, "You tapped out," as Stephanie tried to say, I can pat myself on the back, and how, surprised that people see her performance and stuff last night. But she gave Ronda Rousey a huge introduction. Rousey came out. Rousey got a huge chant, of course. Steph, she tapped out and said she was the better woman and everything, and she's an inspiration, and with me in your corner, I can support you to follow your message. Next people chanted bullshit at Stephanie, and she's, "I'm smarter than all you because I'm a business person," and she tried to talk. People chanted, "Shut the fuck up," and people she even tried to talk louder to block those chants. I was glad to hear that chant. Next they hug each other and shake hands, but pretty much Rousey does the same thing like last night. Break her arm, take the whole brace off of her, and break it again, and the fans chant, "You deserve it," of course, which is pretty funny, and even the "Na Na Na" goodbye song. So this is the only time Stephanie McMahon ever gets any type of comeuppance, especially at Mania or the night after Mania, it looks like. Pretty much the same thing from last night. Crowd loved it though. Next thing I don't know why WWE keeps doing this. It's just the non-traditional audience, and that the people cheer the people they usually boo, and boo the people they usually cheer. They always address that. I don't know why they keep doing that. Like, they do it because they want to. It's like they don't really address that. It's like, this is the only time of the night where people actually do this, so they had to do some type of political thing to mess with everybody. Nia Jax came out then. A lot of people had their WrestleMania gear on from last night. She had "You Deserve It" chants as Alexa Bliss and Mickie James came out. Bliss saying that there's no bigger bully in WWE than Ronda Rousey, unless you're talking about Nia Jax. She continued to make fat jokes and stuff about her, and that she didn't have a partner until she introduced a partner. Nia Jax introduced pretty much now NXT call-up, former NXT Women's Champion Ember Moon, Big Pop. Really good. Ember Moon would have been great on any other show. I'm sure she'll probably go against Asuka sooner or later. They tagged together. I actually almost thought they would have probably continued this her whole feud with her and Shayna Baszler, but I guess it was time to move on then from NXT. Hit the clips on Bliss, got the win. So great call up there. Kurt Angle then talked about the whole Moon debut in the back until Strowman came in and Kurt congratulated him and his partner. And Nicholas was there with him, but Strowman says, we gotta relinquish the titles. There's a schedule conflict. Nicholas is still in the 4th grade. And it was pretty funny, and he says, when Nicholas is done with school, then they're coming back for those tag titles. And Nicholas pretty much went on to say, get these hands. And listen, the crowd popped for this kid, okay? They popped big time for this kid, and even chanted Nicholas. And I'll admit, yes, it did look really ridiculous and really did kind of bury the tag division and the Raw and on the tag division and the titles themselves and the bar. And I just thought it was mind-boggling that, you know, this was the semi-main event. That's still what gets to me. This was the semi-main event to WrestleMania. The fact that they pulled this on their biggest show of the year is still freaking dumb and ridiculous, okay? But this kid was super over. And he was over again tonight for what he had to be there that quickly. And was he like the referee's son, to what I hear? So I'm just surprised they let this thing go this far. But hey, what's WWE? What do you know? NXT call-up debut I am not really excited for is No Way Jose. Why? Why? Just why? He was never really that good at NXT, and dude, they look like Adam Rose 2.0 with all the people coming out with him and doing a conga line. Listen, this will get dead in probably about a month or maybe a few weeks or two, and he'll just be in jobber. Plus, he was never that much at NXT anyways, but what, is the main roster going to make a difference? And yeah, I know I've heard people say that, well, you know, Elias was on NXT and he wasn't good there, but when he came on the main roster now, in about a year, he's became really big. I don't think that's going to be the same thing. This is almost like when Fandango was big at a point and he was super over, but they pushed it so far, it didn't get over anymore. But these were just like wannabe rosebuds out here. So I'm not really excited to see No Way Jose at all. Sheamus and Cesaro wanted the tag team titles back, but Kurt Angle pretty much says you lost to a 10-year-old. But at the whole Greatest Royal Rumble thing, you will face a team, but we're doing 4 teams tonight in a tag team eliminator thing, and we'll go on the finals. Even though I heard this match was announced even before WrestleMania, kind of as a spoiler, it's supposed to be the Hardys versus the Bar for the tag titles, but hey, subject card to change. When they kind of came back during commercial, Gallows and Anderson, and I wish I would have heard this chant, and the crowd would have did was a "fuck the revival" chant. They won with the Shatter Machine. There was some too sweet woo woo chants out there, but yeah, the revival move on in the tournament, so whatever. Next thing you know, Seth Rollins came out, who got a big pop, burn it down. People chanting, "You deserve it." Then it was a big burn it down chant. And, you know, he said, "It's good to be back, Seth freaking Rollins. You guys are animals." He said, you know, Grand Slam Rollins has a nice ring to it. People chanted Grand Slam Rollins, and that every member of the Shield is now a Grand Slam champion. Finn pretty much came out then, and, you know, he wanted to get something off his chest. People chanted "too sweet," and woo woo, and Finn, you know, he entered and pretty much congratulated Seth Rollins, but when he was the better man last night. But there was a winner and there was a loser, and I was not pinned, and I want a rematch for the title. And pretty much Seth Rollins shook hands for the match, but the Miz Taraj came out. Miz says, "I didn't need Miz Taraj last night because I wanted to prove something going on my own." But Rollins pretty much says, "So you needed the Miz Taraj to win all this time," because he didn't want excuses. But Miz said, you know, told Rollins that, you know, he brought his daughter up, and that people chant he's got kids, and he said that his daughter cried because of Rollins winning, which made Maurice cry, and even made the Miz cry himself. And Rollins pretty much went on to say, you know, everyone else cries too when they watch you wrestle. And Miz said that, "I want my rematch," and Rollins says, "Okay, we'll do it right now," because he can lace his boots up, his own boots up and stuff. And Miz said, you know, "We'll get your rematch. We'll do this at Backlash." So after that, then Miz challenged Rollins and Balor to a tag match, 3-on-2. Next thing you know, Jeff Hardy is back, pretty much cleared from injury, which looks like he may be going on a singles thing. He's not tagging with Matt. and being Brother Nero. So hey, put him in the IC title run. Hey, let him go for that. I don't mind that at all. Um, Sasha Banks versus Mandy Rose. Not much to say from here. Nobody didn't really get a react to this other than Bailey coming out and people chanting, "We want some Bailey," and did the whole Bailey song. Which someone was kind of good. Say, "We, hey, Bailey, whoo, ha, I wanna know if you be my girl." And then Bailey pretty much hit Sasha accidentally because of absolution. Sasha got back in the ring, got knee striked by Mandy Rose, which got a pin. But then, other than that, and Bailey was trying to be out apologetic and walk into the back. Absolution leaves. Paige gets the microphone. And, she knows some don't know, but she's got to come clean. And, being sidelined for WrestleMania was really hard. And she was born in this ring, and she put her heart and soul into it. And due to the neck injury, she cannot perform as an in-ring competitor anymore. And it's one of the hardest things she's ever had to do in her life. People chanted, "Thank you, Paige." And she thanked every woman in the back that, proud to be part of this division. And she thanked her family. And Daniel Bryan, he came back from his injury. And, it gave her hope watching him come back at WrestleMania. Even thanked Edge, showing that it was life after wrestling. And, she said the pains her to say this and everything. But, she's going to have to go find something else right now. And she thanked the WWE for 4 years there in New Orleans. And this is the place where she won her title 4 years ago when she debuted in the WWE against AJ. And now this is where she wanted to retire. And people chanted, "Thank you, Paige," and chanted, "This is your house." And, she thanked the fans. "This will always be my house." She left her shirt in the ring. And, I know we've heard about Paige's whole thing. I know people are going to go start to blame, Sasha Banks ended her career kicking her in the back of the neck and stuff. Listen, it's a sad situation what happened to Paige. I just thought she probably would be back later on. I'm surprised they just don't keep her as a manager with Absolution. But I've actually pretty much said, like, what is her point? What is her role at this point? I didn't know what Paige was even relevant at this point in time. And, I don't know what's going to happen to Paige next. Do I think Paige has had multiple chances in this company? Yes, because I am just surprised she wasn't even fired before for a lot of the insane stuff she has done. Crazy she's done around here. Like, we can go from the wellness test. We can go from, wow, the whole Alberto thing. That's already a long enough story as it is of itself. The sex tapes on the internet, just it's a lot you can say about her. And I don't know, Paige at a point felt like she was trying to get fired. And then I even saw that tattoo on her hands. What was it? "Talk shit, get bit," or something like that. It was great to see Paige come back, but come on, like I feel like Paige has had multiple chances. Like, she has had several chances in this company, and surprisingly, they did not fire her even beforehand. Like, was this the company's decision to have her do this? Was it her decision to do this? Do I feel like this is going to end up as some footage for her movie that they promoted several times throughout WrestleMania weekend, which got very annoying? Yes. I don't know. Will Paige be back in wrestling? Maybe. I don't know what's going to happen to Paige next. It's a shame because she's like 25, 26 years old, and she's only been for 4 years, but I just felt like she got lost in the shuffle after a while. So, I don't know what's going to happen with Paige next. I don't know if she will wrestle on the end. I don't know what Paige is going to do, okay? I don't know. It is a sad situation. But it's just, I have not really cared about Paige in a long time now. Okay, I was like, okay, she's back, but the injury just messed everything up. And I've said it before, we've given this girl several chances. I'm just really surprised she was not fired from this company. So I feel like she was trying to get fired at a point in time. 2 wellness test violations, and just crazy stuff. And I don't know what these weird dudes she dates all the time, but that Alberto thing and airports and people saying cocaine, and we saw how these two went, and now I don't know, man. Paige, it's really sad if she really does have to retire. I thought she was about to swerve everybody, but like I said, I don't know what Paige does next. I don't know if she's completely done with the company now, or they have some type of job for her back there. I don't know if somebody just don't keep her as still this manager. I thought she was irrelevant at this point, but I'm surprised they don't keep her as a manager out here with Absolution. I guess Absolution gonna do their own thing now because I don't know, people are already getting tired of Paige. And I just said that movie and stuff looked different. Paige just looks really different nowadays than what you saw a few years ago. Probably the lip injections and stuff, but I don't know, man. Paige, hopefully something gets better for her down the line. Next thing you know, Elias came out. Walk with Elias chance was great, and they says, "Oh, walk with Elias," and that, you know, he was performing last night because of those, but the scumbags messed it up. Fans chanting, "We are scumbags," which was pretty funny, and he sang a song about punching him in the face. Next thing you know, the return of Bobby Lashley, fresh off of TNA Impact Wrestling. Bobby Lashley came out, got a big pop, welcome back chant, did a neck break. I guess his first opponent will be Elias, and did a giant suplex in the air and spun him kind of in the air with his hands going, you know, slamming him. Listen, Bobby Lashley, well, we kind of knew this was the writing on the wall. I kind of knew after watching Impact last Thursday and that they had to rush the whole Brian Cage feud. I hope they know what to do with Bobby Lashley. I really hope they do. I know he's a face tonight, but this guy needs to be a heel, okay? Lashley's heel work in Impact was very great. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I thought he was a very dominant world champion over there, like a 4-time world champion, I believe. He was better on the microphone than he ever was in WWE. Before, I couldn't say he couldn't talk for crap, but now he's more confident on the mic. I think he can go, and maybe this is going to put him as a babyface until his return, but this man needs to be a heel, okay? This man needs to be the world's champion. It would be great if he beat up Lesnar, but, you know, Lashley's last WWE run wasn't bad, even though I felt like, I don't know why this guy was never the champion, but Bobby Lashley was back, on here, and he was an awesome heel. If there's one thing I can say about Impact is that Bobby Lashley did great over there. They really didn't know what to do with him. I wish it would have got better till the end, but I kind of blame Jeff Jarrett and that whole bad America top team booking. And then when Don Callis and them came in, they actually got it right, but Lashley was just kind of on his way out the door after that. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn showed up at the Superstar Shakeup thing. Well, it's not a Superstar Shakeup yet, but they wanted a job, and he says, "Oh yeah, you guys beat up your other commissioner and manager and stuff. Weren't you fired for that?" And the next thing you know, they thought they could be team players, and Kurt's talking about, you know, my tag division is full, which is not really that great of a tag division to begin with. And this was the line that had people going, "But I hear TNA is hiring." I was very surprised to hear that and even mention TNA, okay? That was surprising. And he says, "You know what? I'm not going to hire you both, but you're going to fight for your match." He said, whoever wins gets a contract. And, you know, Zayn says, I need it. And Owen says, "I have a family, so I got family too." But he said, "You don't have kids." And they both wanted the opportunity, so that was going to happen. I was surprised to see them didn't even drop the TNA line, but, you know, people say TNA is dead and it's Impact Wrestling, which Impact pretty much kind of came out and says, "We are Impact," literally right on Twitter after they heard that line. So it was pretty funny. I was just shocked, and it's like people said, people were, you know, people know why Jeff Jarrett never even mentioned TNA, and that was his company he created. I know Impact is trying to get back in the best spot, and, you know, fuck Alberto Del Rio for what he did. Fuck him. Gave that guy, we've given this guy that's another guy giving too many chances. I mean, trying to get back in WWE, and this is what any company goes to, giving him way too many chances. So that's him, but I was very shocked to hear that line. That really surprised me. But I hear TNA is hiring. It was hard. We all knew it was a shot. So, but people can say TNA is dead and it's Impact Wrestling. Heath Slater and Rhino came out then. They were there talking about the whole shake-up. Well, that shake-up, but, you know, they're not in the tournament. We're SmackDown Tag Champions. Next thing you know, we challenge any team in the back. AOP chant, Authors of Pain come out. The Authors of Pain, Paul Ellering pretty much destroy Slater and Rhino. But then next thing you know, when they were going up the ramp, going back, they pretty much held Paul Ellering back and, like, you know, put their fists at him, and he stayed at ringside and he shook his head, which I don't know, man. I feel like, listen, there's one thing I can say about NXT call-ups and in the main roster. The main roster knows how to screw up a lot of things, so don't be surprised if they screw up a lot of these guys they brought up tonight. And I guess I kind of know that Paul Ellering will not be. It looks like they're not going to be with Authors of Pain, which is a very bad move, but I don't think he's going to do this whole road schedule, and they probably may send him back to NXT just to manage someone else, and he's not going to be part of this. So I guess Ellering probably didn't want to do it, so I guess they're going to write him off somehow. But I don't know if this is really going to help the Authors of Pain, because they really do kind of need Paul Ellering out there. So it's not, I don't know, man. That's just already questionable that he just got here, and now you want to take him away immediately because you keep him here for a minute. But it's like I said, he probably don't want to do the whole the main roster schedule, so it's not going to be the same. Some people think he'll end managing another team over there, maybe War Machine, but I don't know how they're going to do the Authors of Pain. Come on, this is the same people. This is Monday Night Raw, folks. Unless they move to SmackDown next week in the shake-up, but come on. We seen what happened to the Revival. Look what happened to them. Look what happened to them. Also, the other than the Revival, yeah, we already talked about Brock resigning. Roman Reigns come out, Mega Boo's, of course, and he says, you know, he pretty much said that, you know, as you can see, I got my ass kicked last night. But he talked about Brock then. Brock Lesnar's not here, and he didn't get his, his ass kicked, and he didn't even remember what really happened on Sunday. But he talked about how people looked at him and talked behind him in the back, and he was so mad that it's eating him up that Vince McMahon himself couldn't look him in the eye to smarten him up. And that Lesnar's a hell of a businessman, and that, one week he's saying go back to UFC, and now today WWE announced he signs a new contract, and apparently he has to have another match for him in a steel cage match that he had no clue about until he found out today on the internet. And I don't know, like, Reigns is kind of complaining, making excuses and saying that he didn't know what was scheming up on him, but if they continue to put him in matches with Brock Lesnar, they will end up with him becoming the Universal Champion. That's what's going to happen. Samoa Joe makes his return. This guy's got to stop getting hurt, by the way. Joe's going to kill you. Joe chants. There's a lot of Joe chants. And it's Joe pretty much said, break out the tinfoil hats because Roman Reigns thinks there's a conspiracy. And he says, Lesnar just didn't beat Reigns, he exposed him. You failed to beat Brock Lesnar, which Samoa Joe has failed to beat Brock Lesnar also, so I don't know what he's talking about there. And he said that makes him a liar who lied to his friends, fans, and family, even to himself. And that, let's face it, you get jacked up whenever you get into the ring with Lesnar, while Lesnar gets richer. And he says, how many times the story is told here of the conqueror, the beast conquering the big dog, coming out making excuses. That's what's going to happen. And, once Lesnar throws you around like a rag doll in the cage, I'll be waiting for you at Backlash so I can put you to sleep. Joe with a very awesome promo, which was mostly a lot of kind of truth there when you look at it. Very truthful promo. I guess Reigns is so upset that, Vince didn't smarten him up or something like that. I don't know what the reason was going on there, but I guess he's pissed that he wasn't smartened up by Vince McMahon. But I'm sure we'll see a match out of these two by Backlash. Next thing you know, Titus Brand, I believe, were in the ring. Was it Titus Brand? If I'm correct. Oh yes, Titus Brand was in the ring, and next thing you know, Matt Hardy shows up with the Andre the Giant trophy with Bray Wyatt, who was laughing. We're here. I guess they are make an oddball makeshift tag team now, since Bray was deleted. Then it was worldwide delete. Matt and Bray Wyatt won, and pretty much Sister Abigail into a twist of fate. Does this revitalize Bray Wyatt's career? Let's see where it goes. Maybe Bray Wyatt continues to wear an apron, looking like a butcher out there, like he's going to cook out at a barbecue. I guess that's not much of a change. It was attire, but we'll see where this goes. And they'll probably be they'll face the Revival next week, and they'll get the shot. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Listen, they always put on a great match. Of course, people got to sing Sami Zayn's theme song. Listen, I've said this line before. If you've seen one match, you've seen them all. We all know Owens and Zayn could put on a great match, and they were fight forever chants. People singing the Olay song. Fight Owens, fight. Let's go, Sammy. Somebody said, I think the crowd said, "You just made the list. The list is already dead." Kevin said, "This was a great match. Both guys fighting each other, but it ended a double count out since it was like a suplex attempt, a fisherman buster off the top rope." And as I guess nobody won, so none of them go to Raw, SmackDown. Next thing you know, people started, and I'm actually surprised to see this again. And they kind of threw it out there, but a large TNA chant happened, and even a New Japan chant happened. Honestly, I'm sure TNA wouldn't mind accepting them. Could probably make the show bigger, but there was a loud TNA chant and a loud New Japan chant. So it's like, this is where these two guys go. Is either TNA and New Japan? I'm sure it'll be something in the shake-up, and we'll probably see one of these two on Raw or both. Or maybe they're separated again. But next thing you know, Jeff, Finn, and Seth are walking to the ring. Jeff sees Matt. As Matt pretty much, I am glad you have overcame your broken condition, and I left you a message. And Jeff said it was deleted. Bray comes in and looks at Jeff, and he says, "Brother Nero," hugs him, and he asks him how he felt, and he says, "I feel wonderful." And as weird as that was, Balor and Rollins look at him and says, "What was up with that?" And Jeff just shrugged his shoulders. Main event time, 6-man tag. Brother Nero chant was really loud out there. Listen, this was just kind of a tag team match, sending the crowd home happy. Rollins hits the curb stomp for the win. And then everybody hits each other's finishes on the Miz Taraj, Twist of Fate, curb stomp, coup de grace, swanton bomb. Jeff Hardy Jeff Hardy's back being heel, so Jeff is Jeff again. But next week is a Superstar Shake-Up, they said, and they pretty much thanked everything for incredible WrestleMania week in New Orleans, and they didn't even mention SmackDown was tomorrow, but good night from Bourbon Street, they said. So you still got one more day over here, right? I don't know why they didn't mention that. It's not over. You still got Tuesday. You got tomorrow night. But the main event was okay. I think they were waiting for something big to happen, but it didn't. I think WWE is kind of knowing what to do now to kind of to do with these night after WrestleMania crowds, other than hijacking. I probably saw one beach ball tonight when Reigns was talking, but that was pretty much it. The crowd was loud. And I'm not saying this was not a bad show. Of course, it was great because it's the night after WrestleMania. But I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was one of the better ones. I enjoyed it, and it kept me hyped through some things. We mostly had a lot of things that happened tonight. We had NXT call-ups. We had multiple returns. Paige retired. I'm sure everybody's going to talk about the whole TNA chant. I'm sure Owens and Zayn are probably going to end up on Monday Night Raw. 9 times out of 10. So yeah, that's the big story with that going on. But yes, we had Ember Moon, Authors of Pain, No Way Jose, Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, and Bobby Lashley. What happens on SmackDown tomorrow night? Who's gonna probably get called up? Some people think it may be Andrade Cien Almas, but I think it may be a rematch for him and Aleister Black. The Iconic Duo could probably be called up. Eric Young could probably be called up. You don't know who's going to get called up, okay? We never know who's going to get called up. But all I can say is, let's see what happens tomorrow night then. That's just going to be the question about all of that. So yeah. But other than that, for the show, Monday Night Raw, it was enjoyable. It's not after WrestleMania. Who will show up on SmackDown tomorrow night? I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be a lot to talk about on there too. But this is my Raw review. Hope you enjoyed it. It's been a tough, long, very exhausting weekend. We got one more day of this stuff in this long marathon mode of WrestleMania weekend. As I've seen so many shows from Mania to TakeOver to I even saw that Joey Janela's Spring Break, the Impact versus Lucha Underground thing. So it's been a very long weekend. Raw tonight, SmackDown tomorrow. Comment, subscribe. Check out my live reaction. Check out my review to WrestleMania. It's just a very long weekend, okay, folks? But I am out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out.